epic. All right. So, we're back with some CSGO map analysis. I've got poLemin on my head. And yeah, I guess we can just get right into it because we're talking to stboncho here. That's the author of Bobbit. And I got to say, man, okay, when you pick a name for your map, what do you try to like to work with? Because obviously you had like Feast and that was tied into the theme of the map. And then you had Guard and that's also kind of tied into the theme of the map. But here, Bobbit does not make me think of a map that looks kind of like, you know, it's using nuke assets and stuff. I don't know how this, what even is a Bobbit? Do you know?
That was what I was about to ask. Like, I feel uneducated. I don't even know if that's a proper English word.
Yeah, it might not
or maybe it might be something like, I don't know, submarine in Swedish, or I don't know.
be.
Maybe it's a language we don't understand and we are just dumb, and that's why we don't get it.
No, when I searched Bobbit, all I got was a last name. Oh, well, if you add another T, it's slang for to cut off the penis of. So I guess if you wanted to get cast,
well, let's see what the theme says.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know if I don't know what that could mean here, but what's up?
Fuel silo.
Yeah, fuel silo indeed. Okay, well, we're in T-Spawn again. This is Bobbit by stboncho, and interesting that we can instantly jump down here. Oh, this almost looks like a completely different map, which I kind of like, but I'm not sure if it's tied together very well thematically. But I kind of like that it's like all pristine upstairs, and then you come down here and it's like, oh shit, dude, this is like in disrepair and stuff. So,
oh, fishies. Okay, so we're underwater.
Okay, so there's a submarine.
There are the remainders of Atlantis.
A classic.
That's pretty cool, though. I like the idea.
Okay, so the bomb site is pretty straightforward. So we spawn here, so we can either run straight to the bomb site, right? And plant. Oops, I plant all the way over there.
Activating the bomb.
Oh, thanks. And then we've got this guy, right? But oh, okay. So the bottom is actually fairly flexible in where you can, because you can take this ladder to get a nice flank, right? Although you have to make noise with squeaky.
Yeah.
And this gives you a pretty good POV on the rest of the bomb site. I almost feel like maybe, okay, hear me out, right? I almost feel like maybe you would want to ignore the CT ramp downstairs and just boost your teammate up here as a CT. Like if I boost you up there and you just hold the door, right? And you even have that little, yeah, you even have that cover there. So you can hold both that, and then like I can walk back here and worry about the back end or something. There's also this door over here that, so there's a door that leads into the bomb site that's right here. That I feel
by default?
No, yeah, it's closed by default. I just opened it. And then I feel like if we, so I don't know, like obviously the threat is if you leave lower completely completely unstaffed, right? Completely unmanned, then the T's can leverage that. But I'm not sure if it's possible for the T's to get that information without really exposing them or committing to another part of the site where they might just win a fight or something.
Yeah. Apart from that, the gunfight downstairs seems like that's like a one and done thing. Well,
there's not very much flexibility. I guess you can jump spot as a CT over here.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty dangerous.
It wouldn't give you very much, though. You can walk up to this box here and still be covered.
Right.
And that's the only thing where I need to cross.
Yeah, so I would have to jiggle peek this, basically, or shoulder peek from the door, I guess. I could do that.
I wish you could sit up on this
This collision that stops
forklift.
Yeah.
That would give you at least a different kind of angle to hold this.
Don't you also
Because
think that
otherwise
maybe
you
this
have-
is too far up though? Like for a healthy angle? Like maybe this would have to be further back, like maybe where I am, and then this would have to be further back as well, that whole setup. To create more space for actual gunfights.
Definitely. It also feels a little bit cramped, like all of it, generally.
Mm.
And at the same time, very empty. Like, there's not much variation in the angles. For example, if I stand here, all of the positions that a CT can sit at is this one, maybe this one, and maybe this one here. And they're all basically the same. They're the same height and almost on the same axis. Or same line of sight, I should say.
I'm also thinking that if you throw a pretty default smoke without like being even super visible, like I think maybe if you line this one up. Oh, that might go too deep. I'm thinking of finding a way to smoke that without even being exposed. It's probably possible. It's hard for me to see up there, lighting-wise, but yeah, that should do it. So, yeah, so that's a pretty easy lineup to do. And that will smoke off the entire thing you just walked through, right? So, I wonder if, like, again, at that point... Okay, so, like, again, at the point where you get this feels kind of under-impactful anyway, the whole lower area. Because when you come up here, I mean, the CT could just be boosted, like, sitting here, right? Like, good luck actually winning a fight on here. I guess you could... Can you spam this? Like, is this...
I can also see through it here.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, so this door is not bustable, like, right? I can't throw a grenade
No,
at
it's
it.
not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, since that's the case for that one, and I assume it's also the case for this door over here, see, I feel like that would be an interesting tactic, but it would probably still be CT favored, like they would blow open the door. So it's probably fine for it to be invulnerable, but my concern there is it doesn't give you that much useful, what do you call it? Useful, like, map control, because it's really just another angle into the bomb site that could seemingly be somewhat neutralized. Like, again, maybe the intention was for lower to be an area where you sort of encourage these CTs to make a run down lower and at least have like one CT down there spotting, right? Maybe that was the intention. But even if they spot something, like, I feel like it's still like it gives them some advanced warning, but especially with the ladder plus the door, and the door is like mandatory sound cue. I feel like you'd probably have a better time having somebody hold from back here, holding this angle, and then somebody at the door, and they're going to open the door without you necessarily be... I don't know if you can hear it from spawn. Like, it's so close to CTs that I think the CTs opening this door, you probably don't have an audio cue for that. And look at this angle, too. Like,
yeah, it's pretty long.
This is a long angle, and it's the only normal way into the bomb site, I think. I don't think you can go the other way. Oh, no, you can. I missed this earlier. So basically, you have a super long angle directly into the line of sight, and then your buddy is here for rifle backup in an area where he can't be punished by somebody going upper. Like, if I'm standing here, I can't... It doesn't matter if you take this, right? So I think in such a case, you'd almost have to, like, extend out the platform to over here.
So it's actually a flank.
Yeah. So you essentially
route.
wrap around instead of it just being an angle directly onto the bomb site, right? I feel like that would make things better. I guess if you wanted to keep the thematic... I like the, like, props over here and stuff is the problem, right? So you don't want to, like, get rid of those. I like the fact that there's, like, a wash up.
You can still move them to CT spawn or so.
Yeah. So you can definitely move them over and then... and do that. But I think that would be interesting. That would allow, like, essentially the CT can't just rest on his laurels over here. And I remember there's so many maps that actually had this problem where the CTs move, like, a few steps and then they sit there, right? And, like, that's the best position for them. You don't make them take much map control. I think that's, again, that's probably the intention of lower. is like, oh, you need to spot for information or see if they're flanking around. But the T's flanking around is the only case, and it would take so long that it would almost defeat the purpose, because obviously you're going to be able to hear me if I'm running down here and you're on the CT side. Like, you're going to be able to hear me from upstairs, and you'll know what I'm doing. And if it takes me forever to show up on your radar, you also know what I'm doing, most likely, right? Because like then you must be walking, and that's why I can't hear you. But you still haven't shown up like on the bomb site, so obviously somebody's there, right? So it feels like there's not enough tactical diversity for the T's to even make the CTs uncomfortable. And the CTs themselves have the best option for them if they're just sitting in spawn, basically, like close to spawn.
Like stuff like this that's present here on a bomb site where you can jump up on these little boxes and stuff like that. I wish something like that was on lower, like on the lower level of the map.
Right.
Because right now it's just this one straight angle that players can hold.
Well, this might actually be a busted ass angle if they're doing a delayed take though. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah,
you get sight on both of the.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You can also just duck and stand like this.
Oh yeah, can I see your head?
When you're standing right now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I actually can't. I can't, even if I jump, I can't see you. So it's pretty powerful. And then like imagine having to clear this when you're like busy trying to clear like the door and like the back sight and then the boost box. Oh, and also the cleaning.
But here, this route would actually be a flank, like some kind of flank, because you're super exposed up there.
True, yeah.
For this position.
That is the only time that it would be, though, I think.
Yeah, it would still be viable the same way if, as you suggested, the exit of the door would be somewhere like here. You could still flank the guy sitting up on the yellow box.
Mm-hmm. And I think that would probably encourage you to move the lower ladder area further closer to the CT side of lower, which would encourage the T's to like take more map control, and that would make the lower area more valuable for CTs as well, because then the flank is more powerful, so they want to try to leverage it. Like they want to make sure that that's not what is used, right? So
yeah, another thing, it could also be like that the design intent is that most gameplay is happening on the upper area of the map, which makes sense because there's the bomb sites there, and the design wants to encourage that rather than going lower. And therefore, lower is fairly simplistic and doesn't really encourage gameplay. Right. However, I feel like the space that lower takes on the actual map, like if you combine all of the playable space, of the map, this will be half of it.
It feels like it, yeah.
For something that you actually don't want players to be on very often. So maybe cutting down the size of it would also help.
True, yeah, if you wanted to keep it compact. What about lower being having another component of the bomb site? What if you could plant lower? I mean, it would still need some alterations to the layout, but I feel like maybe then it's like, because I've been playing on that Kaizen map, and there's the B bomb site with you can plant on multiple elevation levels, and of the same bomb site, and I think that's kind of a cool thing. And obviously for this, you could just have it be that there's an A and B bomb site or whatever, right? Since it's a wingman map, but I think that might be another way to encourage gameplay there.
Yeah. Maybe like weird stuff with some kind of grate up there where you can even diffuse from the lower ground on the upper ground.
Oh yeah, like if there was an open hole or something to drop down from. Yeah, that could be pretty funny. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for stuff like that. So
yeah. But for the idea of extending the what is it? The bomb site onto the bomb site onto the low ground as well. The level would need to be a little bit more compact because retaking sites takes time.
Yeah.
And if you then end up realizing that you're on the wrong bomb site, so to say, because the bomb. Ooh, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I like that you can plant on the bits there. You can also plant on the edge of this stripe, which might be a bug.
It's a little bit misleading.
Yeah, because of the It's not even. I mean, it seems like maybe more of a suggestion than a rule because I'm able to plant all the way out here as well. So it probably just needs some clipping tuning or something.
Yeah.
Seems accurate. Oh, never mind. It's also extended on this side as well.
What I do like is that despite the compactness, is that a word?
Yeah.
Of the layout, or the general theme, I should say, because it's all indoor, you still have opportunities for utility through these slats,
right?
Or these window openings.
Oops.
If you're talented.
I like how you had to throw that last bit in there. You're not like this idiot who misses. No, yeah, that's pretty cool though. I mean, even lower, we found like I was able to find that smoke pretty quick too. So, whereas this one is.
And it doesn't feel too cheesy given the theme.
Yeah. I also think that like maybe the side angles are too compact as well, because one thing I'm thinking of is it's probably possible to split the site with one smoke.
Yeah, you can just smoke here. Have a safe plant, somewhat safe plant.
Well, yeah, I was more so thinking of like smoking in the middle here.
Mm.
Something like that. Well, I guess a little bit closer, which like eliminates the angle from boost box and also from anything else, so you can cross safely.
You can do the same thing with the door too.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess like a fast take with 2 smokes would be pretty easy for something like that to happen. But then we turn into vertigo. Nobody likes vertigo. Come on. You know, it's funny because I'm pretty sure when we did our interview, right? I'm pretty sure I asked you about vertigo. I think every single person I've had on that interview show on Hammer Meet Anvil, I've asked about. So what do you think about vertigo? Like, and some of them have, you know, some people are like more tame. They're like, it's an okay map, I guess. But it's funny. Oh shit! Levitation, man. This is pretty intense. I also can't open the door now. Oh, did you do it? Or was that me?
No, that was you.
Okay, well, now I can't close it, so whatever.
Sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have any other thoughts on this one, but...
No, just generally, I feel like the upper part is fine. Maybe a little bit too tight, everything.
Yeah, it does feel like
a little
maybe...
bit wider, a little bit more space. But generally, I feel like I'm having fun moving around on the site.
Yeah, the site seems like there's some nice stuff
here
there. Yeah,
are pretty cool. It's pretty smooth. But I do think that the lower part is a little bit too large for what it does right now. Apart from that, yeah, and the kind of telegraphed. No, open the door if I jump up here.
Oh, this is lame, dude. I almost found an epic bug. I mean, it's technically a bug, but... I have the bomb plant indicator, but it says you must be standing on the ground.
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah, that the flanking route is not... could be a little bit more flanky, so to say.
Yeah.
And maybe not as telegraphed with the ladder sound that you have to give if you want to go fast. And the door, of course.
I also think that instinctually, I come out of that door thinking I have to go to their spawn instead of to the bomb site. So I feel like there's, I'm assuming there's more to the flank, I guess, maybe. That's like an instinct that I had. But yeah. I don't know. I think it's, it definitely has, has some potential. I'm interested in seeing where it ends up, if there's any updates in the future. So there you go, stboncho. There's the take on Bobbit.
Bobbit.
Yeah. And Bobbit we did. All right, let's see if changing the map behooves us this time, or if we crash.
In before crash.
It's like when we were asking the people, the Frostbite devs, when we did that stream for Frostbite, like, how did you guys test this? And they're like, oh, we really didn't. Yeah, I can't blame you. Uh-oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Yes, Alexander. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, people make Danger Zone maps. There's one of them was Jungle Thai, and that one got added to the game for a short time, and now Frostbite is the latest community one to be added.
Oop. Okay, it crashed for me at least.
Oh, epic.
I'll be right back.
Sure. Yeah, you should be able to just hop in. Dude, they didn't even make this plant destructible. How disappointing.
That is disappointing.
Oh man, and I can't even jump over this chest-high wall. I want to ride the bike. By the way, I tried to play a map with, since you updated Feast to have 40 spawns per team, I did try to play a map with 40 bots, and I got 10 FPS. It was nice code, yeah.
I told you.
Nice AI code. It was also funny too, because at some point it was like, you do not have enough skill profiles of this skill level or something. So I have to go and add more bot profiles later. But
oh wow,
because I have like 50.
Did you play with other people too? Like, was the FPS drop because of?
It was because of the bots.
Player
Yeah,
characters.
Like other people were fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is easy. We kill them and then we go home.
I'm noticing some nice no clip over here,
Oh no, that's a feature.
or whatever that is. Yeah, I forget what is this called. No draw.
No draw, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, it's a double. So you got the no draw on the back of the wall, and then you got the no draw on the bottom trim.
Oh yeah.
Didn't notice the second part. But I will say at first, so this is Jinja by braUm, and that's a capital U, so you know this guy means business. And I will say, going into this, the angles feel a little boxy initially in T-spawn. Like this, for example, is super boxy. Even this, even though it's like at an angle afterwards, feels a little boxy. Oh shit, Tideman's in the chat, and he also feels special. Yeah, dude, you are special. So, oh yeah, and then we come in here, right? And like, again, I haven't looked at this map at all, but we got some pretty unfortunate 2D grass over here. And then, yeah, everything seems very straight liney, you know what I mean? And then you got these source rocks. Love source rocks.
Changes here though. Here you have some.
Yeah,
nice
here we got
curves.
some curvature, some volume. And I don't
This
even mind it
backyard
being this
Sorry.
way. I don't even mind it being a little boxier in here. Well, okay, maybe I do it from the inside of the building. But like on the outside, it still feels sort of like if you change this right wall, I think it would feel pretty fine. Like it feels thematic enough to have the central house structure be boxy in that nature. Just that for everything else, it feels a little off-putting.
Yeah.
What were you about to say? It reminds you of some other map?
This backyard here reminds me of a map called Vacant on Call of Duty. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I have never played Call of Duty.
Well, then I guess you're not.
Yeah. What does it
You're the wrong
specifically
person to
remind you?
talk to.
Is it just the aesthetic, or?
It's, like the main gameplay space is within the building, and there's this little backyard out here where you have some long-range engagements from like one inside the house, like I am right now, and the other one coming from where you are right now.
Oh, I see.
That's pretty similar. I always liked it.
Yeah, I don't mind the like functionality. It seems fine to me, but I'm noticing like straight edges like over here. The fact that it seems to be the same bit of wall, like copy and pasted over and over again, right? And then obviously if you ever jump out like over here and you look out there, the illusion disappears pretty quickly. And some more no draw. It feels like maybe this was one of those maps where, you know, things were just like tried to meet a contest deadline sort of thing. This kind of thing can happen.
Yeah.
It also seems like quite a large map, actually, for a wingman.
It does.
So, like, again, this is our spawn
There
over
are at
here.
least 3 routes towards the site.
Right. I think there's technically 4, right? Because there's also CT spawn.
Yeah.
Oh, what is this
The 4
arena over
entrances to
here?
the site.
Monument to a rock. Yeah, I think lighting needed to be fixed up in a couple of areas. Complete absence of destructible things. Can't even shoot this garbage pail.
I think this here is a key position for CTs. And you can peek the long angle here and quickly rotate towards side and hold this main entrance.
Hmm.
Or something
So
like an AWP or creek or AUG.
Or Krieg that you take from their cold dead hands. I know what you were thinking.
Yeah.
You're thinking ahead. No, I think that's probably true. And also, I'm not sure where the second CT would go. Is the problem, right?
I mean, you can stay super compact and the other CT stands here where I am right now.
You think so?
There you can also, like, take care of 2 angles.
Well, you can take
at
care
the
of
same
this
time.
over here.
Yeah.
Right. So I can hold this and then jiggle every now and then, like back up enough so that when I jiggle, I'm isolating myself from that angle. Like from this position exactly, I can do that. So yeah, that makes sense. Still feels a little weird though, because there's so many angles that you're not covering, and you're ceding a lot of map control, but the alternative is to expose yourself, right? Because there's so many angles, period. So many positions, I guess. Bomb site's quite open as well, so...
Yeah, what would be the safe plan? Probably here at this rock, right?
Yeah, I think
And
you'd probably want to smoke...
To the bamboo.
You'd smoke off the right side and come in from the left and mid. Like, 1T would come in here, and then 1T would come in here to challenge the guy who is in the second CT position you were talking about, and then I think you'd be able to safely plant. Or maybe even plant, like right here where I am is probably even more safe. You don't even need a smoke necessarily. Because you can get covered from that angle.
Yeah.
So, like, they can push you over here is the problem.
Could even plant here.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, I guess if you take, like, complete control. Problem is, like, this can't be smoked off with one smoke grenade.
Yeah.
Right. Like, even that... I mean, I guess it can for you to cross
Good
over.
enough for the plant.
Yeah, but you can, like... It's not enough to cross safely back over,
Yeah.
so you're committing to that area, which has no cover from this angle. Is poLemin working on any maps right now? I saw him streaming a while back for some map development, but I don't know if he's been doing that lately.
Yes. Yes, I'm still working on that one. I was busy fixing up guard lately, since it got into the game.
Yes, poLemin's an official CSGO map maker now. He's got bigger and better.
So that took away a little bit of process or progress time of the new map, but I recently got back into it.
Now that's a full 5v5 diffuse map, right?
Correct.
Nice, nice. You know, it's an interesting sort of meta discussion to have. I guess I'll save it for when we're done with this map, but I have a couple questions, so I'll have to... Maybe I'll remind myself, or you'll remind me, but, and when we're done talking about this one.
Sure.
The problem here is that I do think it's too big and too many angles for...
I think it would be really fun 3 versus 3.
Yeah, this could be a 3v3 map, or like something smaller than 5v5 at least, right? But I think 2v2 is too few. Too few defenders. And also, it feels like unsatisfying to take so little of the map as a T and still win the round. I don't know if that's like something that I'm alone on, but for me, it's like if I just take like a little bit and win, unless I'm winning because I'm like, oh shit, dude, I just absolutely destroyed these kids and got like a 1 versus 5 ace because like from one position or something.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different. In 2v2, all you need to do is like throw one smoke, plant, or just vice versa as a CT. It's like, yeah, I'll just hang back at spawn or near spawn. Like, that's not super satisfying.
Yeah.
So, Doesn't feel like
I have the same issue with short dust.
Right.
Where you don't need to do a lot as T, really, other than hold W on spawn and be quick about taking site initially.
Right.
But generally, what I like about this map is that most of the engagement points seem very interesting. There's some variation to it. There's some height variations from time to time.
No, that's a fair point.
So I really like that.
Yeah, I think the art direction and the quality of the assets probably rubbed me the wrong way initially, but functionally speaking, I do think that, like your point about height variation and having different angles at different points in the map, it's a strong gameplay foundation that I think could definitely. The thing is, like, this is one of those maps, sort of like, oh, I forget what the map was called. Here, I'll look at the spreadsheet because is Pithead, the one that had like a middle that felt like it belonged in a 5v5 bomb site map. Like this feels like to me it could be expanded into a 5v5 map. More like this is one of the weird ones where either you have to take a lot away to make it a proper 2v2 map, or you have to expand it to make it a 5v5 map. And this is all assuming that you even want to do that. Like you said, it could be 3v3.
Yeah.
So like you could also go for something completely different. But that's just like my initial read on it. Is it seems like there's potential to expand this and make it bigger and more grand.
Totally.
But it also seems like if you wanted it to be more like a 2v2 map, you would need to cut some stuff. And I'm not even really sure where you would start because so much of the layout is dependent on the connecting pieces, right? So. And it's also possible that the map author would have come up with something like this. This was, again, braUm with a capital U. It's possible that braUm would have come up with something to update this or consolidate this in some way if they had more time or something like that. Because, again, the visual quality does give me the impression that this was put together sort of maybe in a haphazard or rushed manner, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything else or any other lasting points to make, but I do like the layout. I think that there's a lot to like about the functionality of it. It's just that it definitely doesn't suit 2v2. If it is 2v2, it has the same problem for CTs where they take 5 steps and then they're set. But at least they have some interesting gunfights to take, right? And then the Ts themselves also have the same luxury of being able to revel in interesting fights. So.
Yeah, I also think that the layout is very solid, and the biggest part of work I would put into this map would be visuals.
Right. I have found something strange.
Oh. Light map scene, I guess.
A classic.
Oh yeah, it's from this brush.
It's like another extra piece in there, yeah.
Or light map bleeding. Just put a no draw on this one and you're good.
Just copy it over from all the things that shouldn't have no draws and you'll be awesome. Cut and paste. All right, I did have that question about that I was going to ask you about. So I was curious if you think, historically speaking, or just like based on your own intuition, if getting a map into the game puts you on Valve's radar for a longer period of time, so that your next map has a higher chance, or do you think it's like almost completely random and it is entirely based on whether or not they like a map? It doesn't matter if they've had a prior history with the mapper. Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
I have no insight on it, but I hope that they're not biased to people who already have a map in the game. And record shows that every now and then there will be someone who had a second map or a third map or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's also always a lot of new people getting the chance to have their map played officially.
Which is pretty epic.
So I think it's a mixture of both. It's not really biased, but if people make good maps and make multiple good maps, why shouldn't they be added just because they already had one in there?
Yeah, the only way you could argue bias is if there was an equally good or better map made by somebody who hadn't had one. And those specific cases, I think, are hard to argue for. I can't even, like, off the top of my head, think of any. I mean, I don't actually know who's had a map and who hasn't had a map already. I think, like, I'm really confused why Iris hasn't been added officially. Like, you know, but Valve always confuses all of us with their strange lack of decision making. There you go.
That's maybe something I would change about the gameplay here in this map. This angle here.
You don't like it?
Especially since there's... no.
You don't like me being able to one-tap you? Oh,
yeah, that too.
Yeah, I don't think it's intentional.
No.
Maybe it's actually there to bait them out. Like, so you've got an op and you wallbang them through an invisible clip brush. It's like, you thought that was an angle, idiot? Pow. All right. Yeah, I think we can move on to the next bit here. Oops, don't do that. Okay, so the next map is Tonedeaf.
Ooh, that's a doozy.
What?
I've seen that map before. Yeah.
And you called it a doozy before we even got into it.
So that we may be free.
There are actually a few really good things about this map that I really, really like. But I will talk about them once we went through the map a little bit.
Okay. So this is Tonedeaf by Anwraith. poLemin's already seen it. We're about to walk through it. My first impression is cool that I can stand on the truck, I guess. The grass is satanically possessed. Probably something that could have been like the maybe okay, this is something you might have some insight on, but I feel like surely there's some solution to stuff like this where you look at a prop or you look at some art and as soon as you look at it, the illusion falls apart, but until you look at it, it seems like, oh yeah, that's just grass, right? Like, come on. Is this like CPU optimization? Like, what's going on here?
The thing here, yeah, I think it is, because it's basically, it's a shader that's driven by a global variable.
Yeah.
I think it's either wind or tree sway or something like that. I think it's the wind thingy and tree sway is the variable in the shader, where you basically define how these leaves move and get distorted. And some of the assets are just not set up for it properly.
Well, I thought I had the
You need
cure,
to be
but
a little careful. But it seems like that this grass here, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that this grass here is the one used in Nuke in the Outland, or like in the non-playable area, I should say.
yeah.
So from afar, it looks fine, basically. But when you get close to it, it breaks the illusion instantly.
Yeah. You have to be close enough to observe the effect in the first place. Well, I will say that I do like the idea from over here, like walking up these imposing temple stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the weathering could use some work, but
yeah, I think that's the canal's
interesting.
Venice assets.
So okay, this is odd. Hold on, I got to get my bearings here. So you basically have 3 tiers of approach. You've got this lower tunnel approach, right? Nice green. This is a super long rotation, it looks like.
Yep.
Okay, so this is a super long flank rotation. But you also get here normally just by walking? Or you can go up the stairs. See, this is fucking confusing. Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, so then if you're on the second floor, you go up the stairs initially, right? Like you can go in here and jump to a second layer within this second layer.
A lot of jumping.
Yeah,
necessary.
a lot of jumping. And then this just takes you out to the third layer. And then the third layer, third floor. Oh god, there's more stairs. Third floor has a second floor connector. which is from the swamp fucking moss area. And we onto the bomb site. Dude, well, okay. And here's a ladder for fucking no reason. Okay. What is this? Dude, I get to jump off to my demise. That's pretty cool. Oh, okay.
Oh, I've never seen this route here. That's new to me. I mean, there's so much to see. There's so many routes.
Yeah. So, okay. First things first. In the interest of being nice. I really like that outside route. I think it's really cool. You don't get to see this kind of thematic very often. And despite the fact that all of that mountain is super stretchy, just the fact that that's like to your right and you can use this like outdoor. This is what makes Counter-Strike maps so awesome to explore, is that this basically feels like a different game to me, like aesthetically. So this, looking at like this angle, right, with half of my view being this like super outdoorsy area, is super cool to me. Like, I think it's really nice. So even though the assets themselves aren't necessarily the highest of quality, it's the feeling that the aesthetic or the thematic that they impose upon the map, and also the fact that you get to even do stuff like this, and then you can also like drop down if you want. I assume this is a boostable spot. Maybe I might have to stand up for you to get up there. Yeah. So I really like that outdoors section. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So I've not known this little scaffolding area.
Yeah.
I only knew that like once you get the bump down here at this bell, you have a afterplant position in this outside area. And it feels so cool to just stand there and wait for any enemy to come around. I feel that's something that this map really pulled off here. Very unique. You don't have this, as you said, in Counter-Strike maps. Maybe in Vertigo to some extent, but not as much.
It's also not. It's just like not as exotic, right? Like this feels like a jungle ruin temple thing or something, which is, it's like a really weird off the wall setting, you know. But it's pretty cool, and like I'm a fan overall of the setting itself. Just based on the fact that it's some much needed variety, right? So yeah, I would say this is pretty epic. However, getting here is not epic. Getting here as a T is like anything but fucking epic. So maybe you can try to walk me through this and make some sense of it. I don't know. Right now, I feel like there's like half of the pathways could just be removed and it would be an improvement. Yeah.
I wanted to say the exact same thing. I feel like there are so many routes that I think you have like 7 different routes that you can take. So here 3, 2 of them end up in the same place immediately.
Yeah.
And you go up here, and you have 2 more. Okay, so it's, what is it, 5?
Yeah, like I'm trying to figure out what the most straightforward route actually is.
I think the one down here.
Oh, this is a sniping angle. Epic.
I think the one down here is the most straightforward.
Wait, do I even need to crouch there? No, okay.
It's also a little bit confusing with this little cubby here.
Yeah, it makes me think I'm supposed to jump through, but I guess it's still good for taking fights against anybody who's scaffolding. Where would the CTs sit? Okay, so that's the other thing, spacing. So, hold on. Before we even look at the Ts, I have to walk around here. This feels like, I gotta fix this rotation timing. Let's put them over here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
So I understand. Like, it's not the most offensive thing, but that feels a bit odd. And then I do like that you can decide as a CT, you have the freedom to get dug into a different position or to move forward. So it's a little bit better than those other maps that we saw so far, where the CTs don't have to move very far. But even as epic as that outdoors area is, it still is not that far away at the end of the day. It still is not something that you fight over. That's a position that in a normal map, you would retreat to something that's this far away from CT spawn. That's this close to CT spawn, I should say. You'd retreat back to this position as a CT after your position gets overwhelmed or challenged. But you can't do that unless you get boosted or you just self-boost over this way, right? Which is fair enough, but you're also exposing yourself to a fuck ton of angles doing that. So I guess as CTs, you probably want to get aggro on this map and try to push like into the... I can't even call this tunnel because there's another tunnel. But the second level, the second level of the stairs. So this is probably what you would have to do. Is you'd do that or you'd like try to push lower. But... Oh, interesting. So I think this is probably why the CTs were moved back, it seems like. Because at this angle, I can just see the Ts coming
from
through
here.
this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, even better. Like, you can actually spot them, right? So, warm-up must be really fun on this map. Just as you're walking through, just getting opped. Yeah, I don't know. That's something that I'm thinking about now. But yeah, I feel like there's just way more complexity, even in the areas that do make sense rotation-wise, like pathway-wise. I really like this upper level. But there's so much shit going on.
Oh shit, what is that? Have we been here before?
Fuck me if I know, dude. This is a ladder! Dude, there's so much. Why is there so much?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. There was a time where
Player agency pushed a little bit too much.
Yeah. When everything is the same anyway, you know. But I feel like overall, there's some really cool ideas at play. It's just like he went too far with it. Anwraith,
Yeah.
whoever you are. Also, I should be able to stand on this in a post plank. Let me stand on this, and then I can hide here saving on top of this way oversized machinery.
Yeah, how did it get there anyway?
Helicopter.
What does it do here?
Make smoke. It's a very expensive smoke machine.
It's a smoker.
Wasn't Smoker a Left 4 Dead zombie or something?
Oh yeah.
Or is that
That's
Spitter
true.
or something? I don't remember.
No, there's a smoker.
Oh. Spray control. Oh, I suck actually. Okay, so I don't know,
So
man. I'm
something
still
to,
kind of
to
overwhelmed.
note here.
What happened?
Yeah, something to note here on the side. What I like is that the mapper tried to break up pillars, or pillars. Pillars are rarely fun in shooters. So what he or she or they did here is broke one of them down and create some kind of half cover.
Yeah.
And over here, they connected this little archway with scaffolding behind, so you don't hit. You have the pillar only on one side, basically here. But you can't peek on both sides very quickly.
Oh, right, yeah.
So given the architecture that they worked with, I think they did a pretty good job at combating the inherent issues that the theme brings.
The pillar problems.
Yeah.
Feels
But
a
there are
bit
a lot
odd
of
still, though.
head
Like,
peaks too.
what happened?
A lot of head peaks are generally apparent on this map. There's one here, and then you have one here.
This is another map that does not feel like a 2v2 map. Probably because of the fact that there's so many different things.
Yeah.
I would definitely get
I feel
lost
like the site
trying
does.
to get here. Yeah, the site is actually fine, and a lot of the stuff surrounding the site is fine. It's just getting here is the problem.
Yeah.
And what is that? There's something else in CT spawn where you can drop down. And this just lets you come through the... Oh, this is like the double doors or whatever, right? So
okay.
you can drop down. I guess that's okay. Like, I don't mind this. This is fine. Because it's a nice, like, parallel over here, but there's this giant crate in the way. So you have to kind of Like, you have to worry about that, but if you've cleared out, like, if you say your teammate flashes you, and then you can do, like, a very easy smoke. So, I don't know where your teammate would flash you in for exactly. Wait, is there even a way out there? Oh, no.
Teammate flashes from spawn through the arches.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some way to synchronize that. I mean, you could probably get a smoke lineup from out in T spawn, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wasn't the best, but a little to the left.
Perfect one way.
Yeah, a little less to the left. I guess I'll just come over here for the lineup. A little bit more reproducible. There you go. Easy.
Hawk.
So that's the other thing too, right? Is like, you've got utility. Oh yeah, you could also get a flash thrown over here. Oh, never mind. There's so many things for it to get collided with.
Yeah.
I don't know. Simplings needs to be simplified for sure.
Yep.
But I like a lot of what's going on here, though. Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
the other thing I
like
was thinking about, too, is... Hold on. So check this out, right?
Sick.
So, like, that is obviously just a very easy thing to do. You could also plant a little bit further up over here.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Even though not perfect, I feel like the CT routing is much better. Like as a CT, I feel like I know what's going on much more.
Yes, I think the CT side is way better equipped to solve the puzzle, so to speak. The Ts have to pretend that entire areas of the map don't exist in order for things to make sense.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me too, because if you look over here, like, he did a great job initially of delineating between the initial pathways. Like, you can go to the right to go up, or you can stay on the same height level with going straight. It's just that as soon as you walk into either one of those areas, it becomes so much more confusing. Like, I think what should have happened is, like, the long pathway that's down there. Oh, you don't even need it. Okay, this is, okay, straight up. This is super easy, right? You come down here, and you completely remove long. Like, don't, just get rid of it, honestly. Because it's, like, it's long, and it's also pointless. Like, why?
Yeah.
Right? So, especially since one of this pathway over here will take you to it eventually anyway. So I would, like, try to find a more clean way to sync these up. So that it's not just a giant L. But there's no reason for long to be here, too. Like, that just adds confusion since it ends up in the same spot, right? So then you've got this staircase going up, which kind of defeats the purpose of not going up in the first place. But the upshot is now you're closer. You're basically at the bomb site. You're at the lower entrance to the bomb site. So I think, and you have access to these side rooms too if you need to like try to pick CT positions or get up to the higher level around the bomb site. So I think that's a super straightforward rotation that makes perfect sense to me. And then if you, like, instead of having this long area here, you just have this. Maybe the long area stays and the other one goes. Something has, like, one of the twos that end up here just should be gone.
I would just remove the entire thing here. Like the two water passageways and then this entire room here. as well as this similarly situated room here, which I both confused them for the same thing, but they're not.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, these are really valuable options for flanking.
Yeah.
To go up, like get it in an elevated position to go from
Yeah, maybe
the
like
lower to
keep
the
this
higher.
room and remove the other one completely.
Yeah. Or make it like one floor only and somehow like bridge the gap so that you can flank through it or something maybe. I don't know. Even that's still a lot of complexity though. So the safer option is to remove that and remove the underwater passageways like you suggested. And then we have the lower passageway that gets you to the lower level of the bomb site and the higher passageway that gets you to the higher level of the bomb site. And you still have enough passageways in the middle because you've got this upper and this mid. Like, I guess you would call this where I am right now. You'd probably call this one like the mid. And then you could go upper to the higher level, just like you can go lower to the middle level.
Mm.
So I think that's fine. Like, that seems reasonable to me. So yeah, those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, that will be the cleaning up I would suggest in the macro level design spectrum. When it comes to macro level design, I would clean up a lot of these angles. For example, if you look, like you can look through all these little planks, which is kind of weird. Create some weird gameplay.
Yeah.
Very unpredictable.
Some wooden boards would like fix that problem pretty easily, I think.
Yeah, just clustering some of the smaller bits into larger structures. And I also feel like it gets stuck every now and then with something on the ground or on the walls, whatever.
This seems...
What I do like is that a lot of the rooms feel very unique, despite they're in the same theme, more or less.
Yeah.
But
I
for
think
example,
there's
this one here with the ladder is very unique.
Right.
The whole...
There's a bunch of rubble and stuff, and a bunch of scaffolding there.
Then you have the outside area that you talked about earlier. The site is very recognizable as a bomb site.
Yeah.
Given its architecture. I like that a lot.
It makes a very low-pitched sound.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just also experimenting with the bomb site planting, and you can actually plant at any cover on it, including these railings, which is probably... I don't mind it personally, but it's probably ill-advised. I don't know what you think about that.
Not a big fan.
You can plant on the box, as you can see. And then you can also plant over here, but only if you're at the edge. Despite the fact that in theory it's within the bomb site. So I would just say, well, I guess maybe it's delineated by this this black stripe. Maybe that's it. No, that's not it.
No,
You can plant
no. What basically happens is, I think that the brush is as large as the orange area.
Yeah.
Portrays, but it's much higher. And when you're up here, your leg still touches it, and therefore it's a valid spot to plant the bomb.
Right.
Same happens here, I guess. So I would just lower the bomb site brush where you don't need it.
I wouldn't mind keeping it being plantable on this crate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's
here
pretty
you can
open,
bump it
so-
up again.
Yeah. And I also don't even mind being able to plant over here. I only pointed it out because it was weird that I could plant on some parts of it, but not others. It seemed like a bug as a result of that. So yeah. But yeah, I actually think this map grew on me for sure. For sure, do some cleanup, angle cleanup, like micro level stuff, but also the macro level stuff, removing some stuff that's just no need for that. I guess like this would be a stretch goal for me, but it could be really cool to have these firefights completely like removed from one another, external, like in these outside areas. Like that's really cool. You don't see that very often in CS, so I'd be down to see that more like incorporated more somehow. I am a bit worried that there's no way to like protect yourself from fall damage or whatever. Like Vertigo obviously has all of those railings and whatnot. but I don't know. Hard to say.
Yeah, and maybe if the mapper decides to touch it again, they can make use of some of the ancient assets.
Yeah, true.
Because it seems like a lot of the textures are still from old AdSec.
Who would ever want
They're
that?
a little bit on the low res side. But it does what it does, so I'm not too unhappy with it.
Yeah, pretty cool. I would play this, but I would have to encourage my friends to forget about certain areas of the map.
Don't use water.
Yeah. Just go into the temple, dude. It's fine. All right. Well, hopefully there's some updates to this at some point so that we can see the growth.
Yeah, I would love that.
And we'll call that one done. Wonder what the history is by naming it Tonedeaf.
I don't know. Maybe something with the giant bell.
That could be it. So I think we'll like this one.
No more talking. Now we fight.
Evon.
Evon. I actually don't know how you're supposed to say it, but it's Evon, and the maker is named Batman. So you know he's epic.
So, right off the bat,
Hi, Batman.
I feel like the radar is really small, isn't it?
Yep.
It seems shrunk.
Oh yeah?
Okay.
How about
I'm
this?
leaving this room.
I'm throwing a grenade.
Lovely. I'm leaving this room and I'm immediately confused.
What's confusing, dude? You just go right, left, straight, backwards.
There's a lot of options right away. And I have no clear indication about where to go. I would instinctually think that this storage room here is one of the main objectives, but it's
True.
not.
Because it stands out with that red shading. And
Yeah.
it's only
And
part
the
of it is
size.
revealed, and yeah, there's a lot that goes into that, I think.
A lot of boxes. A lot of crates. Oh. And some biome inspired building. I gotta say, I'm utterly confused about what this place is.
Clearly, we're bombing these pesticides or whatever. No, never
Maybe it's
mind. There is
fertilizer.
also a bunch of pesticide crates outside of the bomb site, so yeah. It's this tree, okay?
The tree of life.
The tree of spam.
Oh, you would like that.
Is there a crow?
Similar.
Only problem is I can't throw a grenade in there. Wait, what if I do this?
Grenade out.
Disappointing. I think I got him.
Oh, this is CT spawn. What's the purpose of the chicken room?
Entertainment.
It has to be.
Wait, why is the CT spawn? Okay, hold on. This map seems to... Every door is
It's a
open by
very generous
default.
clip here.
There's a lot of color. I'm not really getting a good mental map here.
Nope. Even though it's very boxy. I get a very boxy feeling, and the minimap or the radar kind of reflects that too. Oh, my eyes.
Did you look at the crates?
Well, if you're up here and you look like up and down just a little bit in this direction,
Ooh.
the brightness changes significantly.
Do you regret 3D? $2D Master Race?
So
I feel like there's like a lot of misleading elements to this map as well. Like,
yeah.
so if you
I
come
get
over
the same
here,
vibes.
there's this crate on top of a crate, and then it's by
yeah.
another crate, and I think I can crouch boost onto there, but no. So then what is the
Like
point?
conveniently stacked on each other.
Yeah, so it's like
But then
inviting.
again,
But I can't. What am I gonna do? Jump spot until I see somebody pushing and then swing on him, I guess? Like, that's... Yeah. Holy shit! There's a door we can interact with, dude. That was surprising. That actually kind of scared me. Oh, it's one of them. The only door we can interact with in the whole game, and it blows up. Oh wait, unless chicken room. No, chicken room is a no. Feels really inconsistent when there's like a bunch of doors that can be interacted with, and then a bunch that... Well, there's one door that can be interacted with, but then everything else is a no.
Yep.
I wonder,
advice
why
for
do people
people
not
would be-
actually ever experiment, it seems like? I've never played a map that has the doors start open, but you can close them. Or at least I feel like I haven't played a map with that.
Well,
Anything
'cause
come to
you
mind?
never told anyone about it. There's another room that I've not been in.
I've never told anybody. They were waiting for me. Yes. Noisemaker grenade. Yeah, this is the room that we went in to begin with. What do you mean? This is the room to the right of, like, instead of
yeah.
going straight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
Yeah, this is T-spawn. Doesn't it look like it? Why did we spawn inside a room anyway? Where's our, how did we get here?
Or scooters or
Yeah.
tanks.
A van. I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I am too, to be honest. There's so many lanes too. Like, do you really need the storage building? I feel like it doesn't serve any purpose. Could completely close it off. Same with chicken room. Here you have a bunch of spread cover. It feels very unstructured.
Yeah. It's like aim mappy almost.
Yeah. I get the same vibes. I get like arms race map vibes from this map. Oh no.
What'd you find? My dream. It's not so I can shoot people, it's just so I can... Oh. Oh, there we go. It's happening. Does it even look like I'm jumping anymore?
No, but you make sound.
Really?
Yeah.
On my screen, the entire piece of cover I'm underneath is just vibrating violently. But not the rest of the map, so that's a nice source bug. I feel like...
Novus Botany.
Oh.
Oh, that's Research Garden Alpha. Okay.
Research garden, huh?
The Research Garden with a fence?
Does not look like a research garden.
I wonder if the map description sheds some light onto what this place is.
Thankfully, CS is one of those games where it's much more about what you can infer from the map itself. But yeah, maybe it does.
There's so much stuff going on.
I just want to be up here. There's like no verticality really in the entire map, besides this cover out here, I guess.
Yeah, the cover and the bomb site is like on an elevated position.
Yeah, so it's
But
slight
apart from that,
verticality.
you're right. It's very flat.
Yeah, I feel like this map is like a hyper exaggerated version of the previous map, where there's like areas that are useless because you just like completely ignore them for the sake of, you know, doing your exec or whatever.
Yeah, though on this map, I feel like I'm missing parts that work really well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like something that you can latch onto in order to improve the map. Here, it would need some like serious restructuring.
I'm not even
Cut half
really
of
sure.
the rooms at least.
Yeah, I'm
Bring
not even
in
really
some
sure this
elevation.
this bomb site is even something that works for me.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know.
Also, with this industrial compound, you're very limited in what you can do with verticality, because most of them are laid out in a way that it's passable by trucks and stuff like that.
Right.
So it is flat by nature.
Yeah, but I think you can
So
still.
the theme doesn't really help.
You could take these trucks, like he's already done like crates with verticality and trucks and stuff. You could have like a truck that's in the like with a crane on it or something crazy. Like you could come up with something that would work. I don't know if the assets are there, but like even these trucks that exist here have a lot of verticality on them, but like good luck getting up there. Like you have to boost if you want to, and even then it's not in a useful spot like over here where I am. Oh, you probably can't then. Oh yeah, this is there you go. But like what's the point, right? So yeah, I'm not feeling this one. I kind of like this. So this is an area that I didn't even notice. This is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because
In here is a very, very generous clip brush.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Hadn't seen that. So yeah, this is just CT spawn. So this is like one of the interesting areas of the map, right? Pretty much the only one that I've seen so far is like 5 feet from where you spawn in as CT. So I guess you would hold that for the T's coming out from their spawn over here. And so you'd probably want to like flash this off. I don't know.
All of the cover seems to evenly spread too. Like, it's not necessary to have these two containers separately or standing separately. Like you can just move them together or put a third one in between them and create a larger block.
Yeah, of negative space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else I would have to say on this map. I guess like seems to function, but
Simplify.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I would encourage the mapper to really think about the rooms that they really need for their design to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now I feel like there are too many routes, too many parallel routes too. Like you have this one, goes straight through this storage room, then the road in between site and the storage room.
Yeah.
Then the site is angled the same way, and again an alleyway, and again a smaller building that's just straight. And as you said, there is very little elevation or height difference, apart from some covers that you can jump up on. But I've yet to find stairs or something like that.
I found this. Not
This
very
one
useful.
here?
feel like you'd get caught as a CT during... Oh, maybe not. This is close enough. You could do some psycho off angle. I don't know. Doesn't feel like there's really that much here, honestly. Even though there's a bunch here, it doesn't really feel like there's that much here, if that makes sense.
Oh.
So. Yeah, I guess we'll be...
Like, a lot of talking, but not really saying anything.
Yeah, there you go. That's all my talk shows. You ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm good.
We must move.
Oh boy. So this is Anvers by Erab. I believe that's his name. Initially kind of also feels flat, but at least we have this early upraised area that leads into some sort of construction. Okay. So there's a connector that I just came out of, right? Squeaky or whatever. So you've got a decent amount of cover with these crates. I don't really know what we're bombing, but... Wait, where do we spawn again? Okay, we spawn all the way over here. So you can come out onto the bomb site very fast. Also, I'm not sure if you're muted or if you're just thinking very deeply.
I am muted.
Ah, prank.
I am muted. I'm sorry.
No, no problem.
I was saying that the first thing I said is that I instantly get some Antarctica vibes from this place in a very good way.
Okay.
It looks very similar to stuff I researched on for an Antarctica level.
Nice.
Then what else did I say? Here, this route back here feels redundant, considering that we have a parallel one inside. Like, one of them is redundant, I feel like. They do the exact same thing. They have the exact same shape.
Right.
And then...
One of them is, like, infinitely better in terms of timing as well, so...
Yeah. And then here I said that this bomb site reminds me of another bomb site that we took a look at before. I think it was Fast Lane or Fast Line or something like that.
Unfortunately, I don't remember anything about it by that name. I'll see if I can pull up the... Yeah, Fast Line. Let's see. Yes, okay. This is the map that had, like, it looked like Team Fortress 2 vibes or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I feel like it is more... Like, it's all in the way that you move to it, right? So there's more going on there. In fact, this little site kind of reminds me... I mean, it's not as curvy or whatever, but it kind of reminds me of the B approach from mid to B on Feast. Where you come around and you're looking at the bomb site, sort of. Like in this case, in Feast's case, you're looking at the rotation from CT, but
yeah,
from this perspective, that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. And we also have this super far flank. Oh, this is where CT spawn. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
So that's
CT spawn is
interesting.
in a weird position, but I kind of like it because it encourages them to go on their own flank path. So like this is actually a point of contact right here.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically.
It's very interesting. When you look at the minimap or the radar, you can see how much territory terrorists actually have from the get-go.
Yeah.
Which I found very interesting.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's actually kind of neat that you can. Well, I'm stuck. It's kind of neat to me that the CTs might want to actually retake from here as a duo, if they were to push towards this contact point over here and they don't find anything, or they get a kill and then they move on or something. They have a really nice window of opportunity to come over here, and then at that point they know like to isolate where the enemy could come from, right? So they could like drop a smoke that's like in the middle there. It's probably impossible to completely smoke that off, but they could do so to safely cross, safely-ish. Obviously throw a smoke over there if they wanted to. And then the only other entrance is like this window over here that they could just sort of creep up on. But yeah, I don't mind it. I think that's a really neat thing that we don't often see is like maps that try to make the CTs, or they facilitate directly a CT or shared pathways to the bomb site, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because the bomb that middle section or whatever, that point of contact, I think it would be just as used by CTs as Ts if I were to shadow box the matchup. At least there's the potential for it to be that way. So yeah, certainly the map overall seems kind of serviceable, right? I think the squeaky door seems a bit weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not really sure what it accomplishes. Because
I mean, I guess it... Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, if you have... You have to cross over here anyway. If you're going to get here. If you're going to get to the squeaky door, I mean. So, okay, you throw the smoke, but then why don't you just creep out? You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
Because what squeaky gives you is control over this flank. And then you can spot CT spawn. You can spot over here as well if you come down. But if you get that anyway, I guess it gives you a different angle in, but if it's difficult to get there without already being made redundant by exposing you to this angle.
Mm-hmm. I think it's... The way I read it is that it's not to facilitate terrorist gameplay, but to hinder CTs from retaking or taking more map control. And helping the terrorists in indirect way, if that makes sense.
Some clipping cleanup could be useful here. I can't walk further because of the light.
Oh.
Oh,
Ooh, sorry.
That made some noise.
Yeah.
I think the map is fairly simple. Oh yeah, this window definitely needs cleanup though. I have to like jump through it a few times.
What I do like off the bat.
Go ahead.
Here in this contact point that you talked about earlier, this building here is slanted just a little bit, which allows Ts to throw grenades from far back here. Like they're approaching it straightly.
Yeah.
And can bounce off nades and stuff like that very easily, very conveniently. And it's easier for them to take control of this area than for CTs, who would need to come around the corner to actually throw something useful.
Yeah, I mean, they could flash high. That's their only recourse, though.
But they can't do that with Molotovs, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a small detail, but I really like it.
Guess you could say I'm epic. I will say, like, author did a good job of making this look less straight than it actually is, since they have all these like small angle differences or whatever. But it does kind of disappoint me that it is all straight. I guess it's just like it's not in the remit of the map, but it definitely lends to a boxier feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like the thing is, there's a lot of interesting ideas, particularly with the CT and T positionings, but well, I guess specifically with the CT positionings. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, I'm getting a meh. Like, it's certainly functional and has some interesting ideas that I'd like to explore, but I feel like after exploring them, there's not much to do, if that makes any sense. Like, maybe it's missing a really solid foundation that we can use after we've sort of mastered the thing that makes it unique. But I don't
There
really
could
know
also
what that
be
would
some more how should I put it? Some more meaningful elevation changes.
Right.
Right now we have these little plateaus or porches or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And they're all over the map, and that's the only height variation we really have. I don't see a scenario where I would have my enemy above me or something like that, or I could come from above.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like putting yourself on certain cover or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can do it by doing something like this, or getting boosted up onto here. Like I could boost you up onto one of these big purple crates over in this area, but that's it. And
super exposed.
Yeah, and it's not even super useful, right? So
don't want to be here.
You don't trust your aim, dude?
I don't trust my flicks. And my aim.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Definitely some interesting thoughts, though.
And the wind is starting to get on my nerves. It's very repetitive.
Maybe if we were inside, it could go away. Or be dulled in volume or something. I have my volume down low enough that I don't really hear it, so... Alright. So if you're good for at least one more, we can finish pretty strong here, I think.
Yeah, give me 1 second. One last thing I would like to mention here.
Sure.
I think here is a really good missed opportunity, actually, where you could jump up on the...
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
On the forklift and then have an elevated position onto the side.
Yep,
Super
to peek
cool.
out. That fast line map that you mentioned actually had that for T's, where they could go up a ladder and then peek out at multiple height values, right? So I definitely think that's an interesting thing that could be done here. Am a fan. So yeah, some stuff like that throughout the map would be welcome.
Gotta be careful with it though, so it's not overwhelming for the players. But I think this map can still use some more depth to it.
I don't know, just make it so that I can jump anywhere pretty much. I want to be able to, I heard that there was a version of Iris, for example, that had like a bridge between the sniper's nests on either side of the B-bomb site. Like, I don't know if you're that familiar with that map, but it's the one that has Iris? Like, Iris is the car map with Bubkes and Oliver. Yeah. So there used to be a version of the map where there was a catwalk or something that you could walk across the entire bomb site with. So...
Like on Engage?
Yeah, sort of like, yeah, it's basically similar in a way. Yeah. A little more engaged never hurt anybody. Alright, you ready to go to the next one?
Yep. Ooh, Grasseto.
So this is by my man, Valera. He's a pretty cool guy. He was responsible for Marine, which is a map I've already reviewed on the channel.
Marine?
Marine.
I think you mean Kaizen. Did you work on Marine? Really?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, wait, no. Was it Kaizen?
They aren't.
Wait, I'm thinking of a different Andre, aren't I? Hold on.
No, Valera worked on Kaizen.
Who else? Wait, what else did I review from Andre Valera then? Because I did more than one map. Did they work on something else? Who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of that did Marine? Hold on. Hold on. This must be it. We must get to the bottom of this.
Marine is Trevor, Thomas, and
That's
Almas?
somehow I'm fucking confused Andre Valera with Almas Jonas Thomas or whatever his name is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just me being a dumb American. All right, so this is so Andre Valera is another one of my mans, so no worries. But Almas Jonas is the guy I was thinking of. He's a cool guy too. So yeah, Kaizen. That's the map that guy worked on. So Andre Valera, author of this map. Grasseto, also author of Kaizen, and I think one or two other maps that I may or may not have reviewed. Already gets bonus points for a roof, dude. Can you believe it?
Yes. Yes, I
We
wanted
like
to say
roofs.
the exact same thing.
Yeah, dude. Starting off very strong in this one.
Like, it's not meaningful at all, but...
Hey, you don't know that.
Here it is. But
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. First things as well is looking at the radar. This is a super compact map, super fast-paced, I imagine, and that's like perfect for wingmen. So we're already off to somebody who seems to understand what wingman's all about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this is the triple decker, the classic short L for the bomb site, and CTs also spawn on the bomb site, which is interesting. One thing that might have been interesting for this bomb site is if you could plant on like the first box, but not the second one or something. But I think even as it stands, you know, you got some. Oh, there's a pool over here.
Neat.
Does it feel like there's still a screen filter on from freeze time for you? I feel like the colors are like desaturated.
Yeah, it's a little bit toned down.
Yeah.
But I think that's the map. That's the color correction
Yeah.
from the map.
Everybody gangsta till I swing out this window with a Mag 7 headshot.
Oof.
Wasn't expecting to hit you at all, but instead I got a headshot. So, you know.
Surprised me too.
Wait, hold on. More bonus points? Can it be?
Nope.
Hell yeah, homie! Dude, I like this.
Yeah. I wish there was some language though for some visual language for roofs you can't get onto.
Yeah.
Like this one here. Seems much more accessible than the one over here.
Yeah, it could even be as simple as like color coding it or something. I mean, realistically speaking, you should have something of a fence or something like that on top of there,
Yeah.
which doesn't really make sense for a roof, but you know, some sort of visual language would make sense for sure. But I like that that's there. You can also like, you can imagine that there's something like over here, because this one seems accessible
Yeah, exactly.
from this platform.
That's what I tried too.
Yeah. So here's a sink area. All right, so if we're trying to piece together rotations in our heads, right? So we have spawn here. We can go up towards this sniper position. And who do we take fights with? Oh, we take fights with that roof, as well as a lower peak and the peak that you were just doing. So there's a bunch of different angles that we can take here. Interesting. We can also obviously just step through it if we wanted a fast rotation down lower, but from where we were. But obviously this is just like a more straightforward fight. I think, if I had to guess, the person who goes upper, if there is a person, would probably want to smoke out for the lower player. So that they could infiltrate out to the left of where you are right now. Or to the right if they wanted to, I guess. But I feel like something like that might help, and then you can isolate just the rooftop fight yourself as the opper or as the rifler or whatever, and then your teammate can start to like make a move. They can creep up to be on top of this barrel and sit there while the smoke fades or something like that.
I don't know if you can get up on the roof quick enough
Well, you spawn
for
right here,
this to
so...
be an issue. Yeah, but you need to jump around a lot.
No, you don't.
Ooh. Jim?
Yeah, dude. So I think this is very much intentional. It does add a lot of overhead though for the like whoever's playing this, right? So you do want to smoke for that, and then that's the other thing too, is you can spot, even despite that smoke, right? You can still spot somebody going lower, I think, from the roof. Like, that smoke gets thrown, but if I'm in the back of the roof, I can spot somebody going lower. So you'd want both people to peek at the same time, I think. One from lower, one from upper, after the smoke is thrown. And probably maybe the lower guy first, because the smoke telegraphs the upper guy's position. But this is like super meta stuff, so I don't really know.
Yeah. And in the meantime, the other CT takes map control on the other side of the map.
Right, yeah. So this isn't like a default necessarily.
I'm throwing smoke.
Hey, the preview lied to me. Rude.
About one.
But where that smoke
preview
was gonna... Well, I smoked the pool, so that's pretty cool. Trying to think about where else would be a useful smoke for you. I wonder if it's intentional that you can... If it's actually intentional that you can do all of the jumping that we were doing.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, shit.
Because the rest of the map seems very well clipped.
Yeah. Yeah, so if we're going to go to this left position, right? Like, I like that this is bangable.
Yeah. This is super thin.
It makes it a little bit dangerous to take a peek as a CT, but you're still empowered to, and then you can sort of like fall back. And if they start to wallbang you, you can also just jump out here, right?
The cool thing what he did here is that the actual angle where you peek around is actually solid.
Yeah, it's completely bulletproof. What's up, Common Crayon? Do you think that the reason why he did the color correction is because he used all Inferno assets? Try to make it look a bit different? Because the color correction is really distracting, I'm not gonna lie.
It takes away a lot of the uniqueness, yes. I think so.
So it might have been an attempt to make things look a bit
but
distinct.
The assets that were used are very well used. I think it's very, very solid. Looks great visually despite the lack of custom content.
I mean, I'm definitely all for custom content, don't get me wrong. Is this actually in Inferno somewhere? Is this in CT spawn or something?
I think it's in a non-playable area.
It looks like it's way higher res than an unplayable area would be. Like,
I think it used to be in lower alt mid.
oh, okay.
But I think they removed it at some point. But the asset is still there for people to use. Something like that.
Because that made me think it was custom, but maybe it's just because it's not there very often. So what about this? Back hall. This is where you would fall back to under certain circumstances. If you were peeking over here towards this red car, you'd fall back and threaten anybody from a different angle than... So I guess that would be like... I don't even know what the call out would be. So this would be like back hall, and then the approach would be short, I guess. And then you would have... I don't know. I'd be tempted to call this halls as well, though. So, and then this could be checkers because they're 4. Lovely.
I love that you have this large block that you can play around.
Yeah, it's really nice negative space, even though it's not fully negative because you can stand on it. But from the same high level, it's pretty nice negative space.
Ooh, I can even jump from here.
I feel like if you could self-boost your way up here from the barrel. Oh, you can, okay. Because you can jump from the
I
barrel.
was just waiting for you.
Yeah, it's like very specific. Almost pixel perfect. I guess you have to be like... No, I have no idea. I don't even know how I did it. I can't reproduce it. There you go. Yeah, it's very peculiar. So you were able to jump from...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's super easy, yeah.
I guess that floor texture is custom. Those two. I'm not sure though.
Or from a different map than Inferno, maybe. I feel like I've seen some of this stuff in Golden. I don't know if you've played that map.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
The area around this block reminds me of Golden. Like, because there's that area on the approach to the B-bomb site where you can go... You can hang back, or you can take a more forward position. This is like a more contained version of that, which is kind of cool.
I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about.
You know, in T-spawn, you come out, you go, instead of going towards the subway or towards mid, you go left towards the B-bomb site. There's like this wooden, almost like a pier type thing.
Yeah.
That,
oh, yes.
That has like multiple ways around it, basically. It's a block with negative space, yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
That kind of is the vibe that I get from it.
Yeah, it allows you also to take different angles onto this little tunnel here. You can peek out here.
You're
you
talking
can
about
also,
the CT tunnel?
this one here.
Oh, okay.
Can peek down here, but also can be further back in a different line of sight.
Yeah. I guess the one thing I would say is it might be nice to have like something you could stand on over here for elevation, but you already have the roof, so it's probably not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I think this alley is kind of scary for both teams.
I almost don't mind it because it's scary for both teams.
No, I don't mind it either.
I think there is like a concern, but like it might just be feast or famine or fought over disproportionately compared to the other approach. But I also think that would just be solved where if both teams, especially if the T team feels like the CTs are leaning towards here too much, then they just call an audible and go the other way, right? They like throw their early utility. Maybe like one player stays behind a bait and then he'll go mid while the other guy goes around or something. There's like ways around it. I like that this is like this almost like this camping spot, if you could call it that, like this really tight angle. I am a little bit worried about it, but I also think it's kind of neat. I don't know how visible I am for you.
Late, I would be more focused on other stuff.
Yeah. That's what I would figure. Yeah, I would not be thinking to look for that.
I would also not go through here as a T, to be honest. I would much more prefer to take more space over here. Oops.
Destroyed. I also think that there's something to be said about this high level position on the roof actually being really bad for you as a CT if you lose your teammate over there or something. Like then you're super exposed and you can only fall back to like places where you're basically isolated with one grenade or whatever. So I think it's a decent risk, like risk reward type thing.
But back here you're still fairly safe from most angles.
Yeah, it's more about like I can throw one Molotov and just box you in, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like forced to take the other angle, or I can smoke or Molotov one of them and to force you to the other basically. Like I have free reign if I have utility. And you can't like self-boost your way back up, obviously. So I think that's fair. I actually think it's really nice. I would definitely like to play this map.
Yeah.
could do
Seems like
without
a
the
lot of
color
fun.
correction, personally.
Um,
And maybe
One
some
last
more
thing I
custom
would like
assets.
to mention is that I really like how different the two approaches play, like the two main paths for T's. You have these bangable surfaces here, and then on the other side you have the abundance of different angles that you can approach it from,
Right.
which I really like. I like how different they are, and they both work.
Yeah, they both work, and they both look and feel different to play and to look at. You know, like you know where you
Exactly.
are at every point in the map, despite the color filter. So, the only thing I worry a little bit about is like how much use this crossover would get. That leads you out over here because it feels like a bit of a long rotation, and it's not so safe either with how fast CTs can get up on the roof. So. Like, you have to expend a flash to cross anyway, and at that point you might as well take the lower path, since it's more straightforward, you get there quicker, and I guess it's not as safe overall, but it gives you more options if you do, for some reason, want to go through the middle area. So, it feels like it should be the safer route should be longer, because that's, like, the natural way to balance things, but it's not safer because of this window exposed thing, you know? So that's my only, like, major concern, I guess. But I think everything else worked out pretty well. Shout out to Valera. Epic map. Did this one get anywhere on the top 10 or whatever? I wasn't keeping track of who our finalists
I actually don't know where this one placed. I can look it up, but I don't know it by heart.
No, yeah, that's fair. No worries there. All right, well. Went through 6 more maps. Now we only have... yeah, we only have something like 18, yeah. 18 left, so... At
Placed
this
14th.
rate... Oh, this placed 14th? A respectable placing. I also don't know if it's been updated since then, so...
I also don't know.
Yeah. Nice jumping puzzles. I think Common Crayon's feedback as well, that the theme is a little uninspired.
Yeah.
It's probably accurate, you know, like, there's not really that much unique going on here in terms of the visuals. But in a vacuum, the map plays very well. So it doesn't have, like, the pop factor of, like, the Tonedeaf, for example, where it has those small areas that work so incredibly well and really, like, help to redefine what you even imagine is possible in CS. That definitely isn't going to be happening here. But you've got some really fun jumping puzzles, as you like to call them. You got some really fun areas where you can reposition, some nice angles. Like, it's a very functional CS wingman layout. And
Definitely.
I would not be surprised if something like this, you know, it's also very fast paced. So, like, maybe that's points against it for some people. But for me, I think this is like a really, this would be one that I wouldn't be surprised to see in, like, the Face It Hub or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it, homie.
Cool.
Under normal circumstances, I would offer to stay and do more, but I really got to use the bathroom, so I think that'll probably be it for me.
It's a good sign.
Of course, yeah. I also drink an inhuman amount of water, so it's my own fault. But yeah, thanks for joining me for this hour 40, almost 2 hours that we just did. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
Good to have you back.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing any more of those streams you might be doing where you work on your own map. I don't know how frequently those have been, but I know you've been busy with Guard. Soon TM. There you go. Valve time over here because he's a Valve officialized mapper. He actually works for Valve. I don't know if you guys knew that. He's working on Half-Life 3 right now. He says it'll be the best game ever made. So there you go. That's it. That'll be it for us. Thanks everybody who tuned in and gave some feedback and hung out. And we'll be catching you guys some other time for another one.